From the CBS Bay Area studios, this is KPIX 5 News.
Welcome back to KPIX 5 this morning. The time is almost 6:30. I'm Devin Fehely. CineQuest will run as scheduled today and tonight, but the second week has been pushed back until August. Organizers say it was a tough call, especially when the level of risk is something that people have different opinions on. Now, elsewhere in San Jose, we spoke with some soccer fans at the Earthquake Stadium who didn't let the rain or fears of the virus get in the way of watching the game.
It's just what we have to do right now, be a little extra cautious, pay attention, but I really don't think it's any reason to be crazy and not do this and not do that and change your life, unless you are older and you have a medical problem. I totally understand that.
The Golden State Warriors also played last night in San Francisco. Now, so far, no Bay Area sports teams are shutting out fans. The Warriors say they are taking additional cleaning precautions. The team is, however, urging anyone in a high-risk group or anyone who feels sick to just stay at home. Meanwhile, CBS Sports reports that the NBA sent a memo to teams warning them to prepare to play games in empty arenas, but that idea isn't sitting well with one of the league's biggest stars.
It's impossible. I ain't playing. If I ain't got the fans in the crowd, that's what I play for. I play for my teammates, I play for the fans. That's what it's all about. So if I show up to an arena and ain't no fans in there, I ain't playing. So they can do what they want to do.
LeBron James of the Lakers scoffed at the idea of playing games in an empty arena. Now, earlier this week, the league sent a memo to teams advising players to use fist bumps over high fives with fans. San Francisco has closed the Golden Gate Park Senior Center and canceled all senior programs across town for at least the next 2 weeks. The idea is to protect the elderly. The virus hits people over the age of 50 especially hard. San Francisco also called off several planned events, including Sunday Streets, the Arbor Week Eco Fest, and the Tulip Flower Day Bulb Day. And another San Francisco convention is now canceled. Bitcoin 2020 had been scheduled to kick off at the Moscone Convention Center on March 27th. We're keeping a list of events, cancellations, postponements, and modifications around the Bay Area. You can find all of the information on our website at kpix.com. Experts say the industry could lose as much as $113 billion. And then there's the hit to Main Street. Businesses are hurting. 21% report a moderate to severe impact related to the virus. The spreading outbreak is also costing investors trillions.
The sense right now among investors is that we just don't know the extent of this virus, and that's why we've seen so much volatility in the market.
Some of the biggest names in finance, including Citigroup, JP Morgan Chase, and Morgan Stanley, are telling traders that they may have to avoid Wall Street and work from suburban offices as a precaution. In other news, it's on to the next Democratic presidential primaries for Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. As CBS News' Nicole Killian reports, the two top contenders will face off Tuesday in 6 more states.
What a difference a week makes.
In the Show Me state, former Vice President Joe Biden showed out.
This time last week I was in South Carolina. They hadn't finished voting. And the press and the pundits had declared Biden's campaign is dead.
Bolstered by a delegate lead, a flurry of endorsements, and an infusion of cash, the newly minted frontrunner took on his Democratic opponent.
Senator Sanders likes to say he'll need a record turnout to defeat Donald Trump. He's right. And we're the campaign that's going to do that record turnout.
A two-person race. That's what we got.
Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders adjusted his schedule to stay focused on Michigan, a state he narrowly won in 2016.
I just don't think that Joe Biden can generate enthusiasm. I have zero doubt in my mind that together we are the campaign that could beat Trump.
With the competition tightening, Sanders sharpened his contrast with Biden on trade and Social Security.
Medicare, that is the gorilla in the room. And you've got to put all of it on the table. Everything. Everything.
The Biden campaign countered, launching its largest single advertising blitz.
Joe Biden has always been a strong supporter of Social Security.
A $12 million buy across 6 states. As Biden and Sanders duke it out, they'll share the same turf come election night this Tuesday. Both candidates have scheduled events in Ohio, one of several key battlegrounds that votes later in the month. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Washington.
This morning, Senator Kamala Harris endorsed Biden for president. In a statement, Harris referred to Biden as best prepared to, quote, steer America through these turbulent times. Harris was among the many to run for the Democratic nomination, but dropped out of the race in December. The Federal Aviation Administration wants to fine Boeing about $20 million. The FAA alleges that Boeing violated federal aviation regulations when it certified the two types of aircraft as airworthy. The agency says sensors on the 737NG and the 737 MAX aircraft were not proven compatible in testing. Boeing has a month to respond to the FAA allegations. The 737 MAX has been grounded after two crashes killed more than 300 people. California's burrowing owls are losing their homes. In Yolo County, construction projects are cutting into their habitat and cutting down on their numbers. Reporter Rachel Wolf tells us the city of Davis is aware of the problem but has limited resources to address it.
Drive along a country road, and if you look closely, you'll see one of these. This is a burrowing owl. They make their homes underground along ditches and roads. They're small, just a half pound and the size of a teacup, and their ability to blend into their environment helps and hurts them.
We had trouble with like construction workers, like on that road where you were, because they've got their big trucks and equipment and stuff, and they're not looking, for a little bird in a hole in the ground.
Catherine Portman with the Burrowing Owl Preservation Society says habitat loss is to blame. Things like housing developments and farming operations. She's seen a 76% decline in owl populations in Yolo County. In 2007, there were 63 detected nesting pairs. By 2014, there were only 15.
You got to stand up for the little guy.
She's trying to get the city of Davis to manage a city-owned parcel of land along Mace Boulevard to help protect them.
Because the owls need short vegetation to be able to see their prey and to see their predators coming. They're in the food chain too.
But the city says it may not fall in line with their land use plan.
So if you're taking habitat and you want to change it to be more favorable for owls, you have to go in and remove vegetation. You have to be real harsh on the management of it. And then that essentially turns it into a condition that's really only suitable for a handful of species.
The challenge is paying for it.
It's not an easy ask of a municipality that doesn't have special taxes that go to funding single species management.
The city wants to set aside a portion of a nearby ag buffer for the owls. It's a strategy that hasn't always worked in other counties because of something called site fidelity.
That's for breeding, the site fidelity. If they're successful in a burrow one year, they'll come back to that the next year.